Franco Columbu, for example, being super strong and winning Mr. Olympia, he won the best abs. He didn't train abs. Midsection training is one of the most misunderstood and messed up areas of physical culture. High reps are not necessary. You're not going to burn off fat by doing more reps. You're just going to irritate your back. The point really is tension and attention. You're going to be able to get as strong as you need in the abs and get your six-pack or whatever.
I'd love to talk about abdominal, or rather core work.
Sure. Midsection training is one of the most misunderstood and messed up areas of physical culture. There's 1,000 different exercises and people are like, oh, you gotta have variety, this many reps. That's not the point. The point really is tension and attention. So those are the two things. Ideally, your best first step is really learning abdominal tension through something like a Zercher squat or double kettlebell front squat, where the load distribution is such that it forces reflexive stabilization and you feel, oh, that's what tight abs feel like. And getting somebody just weak in a plank, it's hopeless. There's absolutely not going to help. It's not. There are ways of building up to it, yes, by rolling in the back and so on. So, but if you don't have that option, or if you choose not to exercise it, you have to be extremely attentive to the details of what's going on within your abdomen. So you need to learn things like, for example, you need to learn to contract the pelvic diaphragm, pull your butt up, because you're trying to constrain the intra-abdominal pressure. Then you need to learn how to direct attention to the different parts of your abdomen, almost like a bodybuilder, but really not quite, more like a gymnast. There is this argument in strength world about, internal focus, external focus and cueing. And the agreement is in motor learning, well, external focus cueing is so much better than focusing on, whatever happens within the individual muscle. It may be true in the beginning, and it may be true outside of the strength game, but any top strength athlete that you will meet, they have their own internal cues, how they do something. Later on, they may forget them. It just inspires them, but they know how to. This is how I engage the lat in the bench press. George Halbert, bench press world record holder, famously said it took him many years to finally understand how the triceps is used in the bench press. Many years. So there's a lot of internal component, and for the abs, very, very much. So you have to learn how to very much direct your attention there. To get high tension, you have to keep the reps low. Like you said, 5 sets of 5, perfect. High reps are not necessary. You're not going to burn off fat by doing more reps. You're just going to irritate your back. That's all you're going to do, nothing else. So you treat your ab training very much like a strength event. And if you do that, you're going to get those results. And finally, the final detail is you need to use that intra-abdominal pressure as your friend. Because in lifting like a deadlift or a squat or something, the intra-abdominal pressure helps you, it supports you. When you're doing abdominal work, you work against that intra-abdominal pressure. You just create that pressure and contract against it. This is something called internal isometrics. So it's kind of interesting. It's just a combination of classic strength work with very internalized, kind of almost like a martial arts approach to it. Then you need to learn also how to obviously use your abs in lifting. And once you do, and this is the beauty, you don't really have to train your abs anymore. So Franco Columbu, for example, great example, in addition to winning, being super strong and winning Mr. Olympia, he won the best abs. He didn't train abs. He told me, I hate ab training. He just would stay tight whenever he did his heavy lifts. And this is pretty much what happens. When you reach a certain level of strength and a certain level of awareness, simply staying tight during your strength work and also employing power breathing, which is very important, you're going to be able to get as strong as you need in the abs and get your six-pack or whatever, provided you don't eat the Twinkies. So how do you pressurize in fact, may I show an abdominal exercise right now that Sure. is just sitting at this table? That's also going to teach you teach your audience how to properly pressurize for lifting. So normally it's better done standing. So, and it's not for people with high blood pressure or heart concerns, check with your doctor if that's the situation. So you take a normal breath in your abdomen and you pull up your butt pretty much. Like imagine you have to go to the restroom and you can't quite, it's far away, you're trying to stop yourself. And then you put your tongue between your teeth and you start and you start hissing. And you do this in this ratcheting kind of manner. So, try to keep all the pressure out of your head, out of your neck, direct all the pressure, all this pressure is just to really staying below. And so this type of hissing, you will notice that very rapidly you're going to contract everything around your waist. So everything around your waist is going to contract, and you're going to strain your abdomen. You're also going to start learn how to properly stabilize yourself under heavy weights. The difference between using this technique for lifting and for just training the abs, when you're training the abs, there's going to be some spinal flexion. Not a whole lot. You don't want to do a lot of that. There's going to be some spinal flexion. When you're doing that under a heavy barbell squat, you're maintaining your spine as neutral. It's like your body stays a cylinder. And you're going to hold your breath pretty much. But the idea is the same. So it's like, so the Valsalva maneuver, one Russian coach called it, it's an exhalation that didn't happen. Okay? Because people don't know how to hold their breath properly. They just, and then eyes are bulging out, well, there's no stability right here. So first of all, you got to inhale low. And how do you do that? If you watch top lifters, how they do that, they will do it through pursed lips. You can also do it through the nose, but you cannot do it through big, wide open mouth. So I'll show you why. So if you folks can try it at home. So if you put your hand on your stomach and try to do an abdominal breath, doesn't go very well. Now, for contrast, pinch off one nostril. Take an abdominal breath. Or you can do that through pursed lips. Try it again. So you see,
more resistance.
More resistance, and again, you're engaging the diaphragm instead of just your thorax right there. And then after that, it's that exhalation that didn't happen. Do you see?
I see.
And if you're doing that for an exercise that's long in duration, if you don't want to be holding your breath too long, then we have an expression that comes from one of the karate styles, breathing behind the shield. So right now I can speak to you, but I'm still just as tight. So you see what you're doing. So the way we test it the way we teach it at our workshops is you lie on the ground, I tell you to tense up, then I'm going to stand on your stomach and I'm going to have you sing a song. And then finally what you got to learn to do is you got to learn to match the breath with the force, synchronize when you're punching, when you're throwing, when you're lifting, you have to learn how to match that contraction, the timing of the abdominal contraction and the pressurization, sometimes exhalation, sometimes just pretending to, with the effort.
When one throws a punch, is it